I have some thoughts. I'll say this. I'm digging this adaptation, though the pacing, at least for the first half, man, there was no, for me, breathing time. Which maybe again goes back to the time of like why Alan Moore says, fuck off, don't adapt my shit. It's a comic book, let it be that. And that's why I could spend time in a moment with Rorschach just walking. But I felt like it was just rushing at points. Though, and maybe you see it in the reaction if I ever managed to go through the chains in YouTube, put out reaction to chapter 1, Dr. Manhattan part. When he teleports to Mars, that time spent, wow, man. And it was without, to me, which is now a big part of the character, and it's part of, I think, what was genius about Zack Snyder, is that he used Philip Glass's Prout ego and prophecies together. And that's part of, for me now, Dr. Manhattan's DNA, is that music. And the fact that, and I respect the genius choice of like silent. He's in space, he's in Mars, there's no music, there's no sound, there's no cars, there's nothing, birds, animals, whatever, ecosystem. It's just him alone with a photograph, sitting there. Contemplating, not even contemplating, just experiencing, living in the moment, or shall I say moments. And how that was interpreted was just, man, I love that tail end part where you just hear the radio version or like audio book version of Hollis Mason talking about someone taking up the Night Owl persona. Listen, to me, I think that the Zack Snyder's director cut takes its time, which is why I think it settles a bit, and I respect the hell out of it, I love it, but you can't deny the work that Katie Sackhoff is doing as Laurie, Matthew Reese as Dan Dreiber, Titus Welliver, I believe the name is, as Rorschach. To me, that was the big one to crack, was Jackie Earle doing Rorschach's Journal. But now we have Titus' version, which is more, you almost hear the desperation of him trying to figure this out, and yet also him having an existential crisis. And yet with Jackie Haley's version, it's him living the moment, being like, this is the mission now, and yet being like, was there any way to prevent this? Was there any way to change this, to make this better and whatnot? I can't wait for more Rorschach and Dan Dreiberg scenes, because those were particular favorite mines in the film and in the book. Again, when I heard this adaptation, I was like, wow, really? And how for me this adaptation isn't as getting as much attention as it should be getting, because it's Watchmen. It's a thing that, again, only those first 12 issues, which then became a graphic novel, the film that had been in development in hell for years. And then a while after that, they've done books before Watchmen, they've done Doomsday Clock. And then they do the show, which is technically a sequel to the books. And then one that I recommend is the Rorschach miniseries by Tom King and, oh my gosh, Jorge Fornes, I believe his name is, which is excellent. This now exists in the lore of like Watchmen lore. And regardless of whether people like it or not, whether it's good or bad, it should get some attention. That breaks my heart a little bit that it's not getting attention. But then again, maybe Alan Moore prefers this. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm gonna watch chapter 2. I liked it. I didn't love it. The choice with animation is a choice. Thank God I remember that. I believe right now there's some strikes happening for video games and animation. Let me just say this. Even though I'm covering this, even though I'm putting this up on YouTube and I'm giving my 2 cents worth, whether anybody wants to hear or not, animation shouldn't be just the cheap stuff of the industry, or it shouldn't be just a thing for kids and whatnot, or to promote toys. It's an art form. Best respected the way you respect some of the high regarded, high paid creatives in the industry, film and television wise. As the same way we regard some of our best artists, painters in the world of high-end art, both in the past and in the present and into the future. Respect the shit out of animation and video games, and what each of those art forms gives to people like me, people like anybody. And And the fact that we're starting these strikes and that they're having to fight for decency and good paying and getting good treatment is madness. And it's different realm, but it's kind of why I still go back to Watchmen when we still haven't gotten our shit together. I go back to this story. But I'll say this, that even though I don't love this all the way, but I don't hate it, props to whoever spent the time and effort to animate these moments. And literally, because again, I have the book and the show and the movie in my head, but like the fact that they were able to do off moments like the pull-up shot of the porch where Dan and Laurie are talking about the good old days and how they're having a good laugh. The pull-up shot, the fact that they, adapted Rorschach standing on a rooftop with the beautiful colors, contemplating about why he's doing what he's doing, and that his observer, like, kudos, man. Kudos for taking the time and effort to do that. And I can't wait to talk to other Watchmen fans, regardless of which version you like more, to see what they think of this. Props to anybody who had to take this job, because again, it is heavy and big boots to fill in. So, kudos. And if you enjoyed this review / reaction, thank you. Share the enthusiasm, subscribe to the channel, and until then, who will watch The Watchmen, Chapter 1? Take care.